South Park did an episode making fun of the ongoing culture wars. We're at the tail end of this, though. We already talked about this. The Chudpocalypse is real. Channels that are doing this are not seeing consistent views anymore. Some of them are actually losing subscribers, losing views. It's affecting that whole ecosystem of the anti-fandom, culture warriors that we have here on YouTube. And I was really happy to see that those things weren't showing up and recommended anymore. It seems like less people are getting involved in that toxic corner of YouTube. So the one thing about the South Park episode that I think is unfortunate is I'm hoping that this does not reignite that community and start to bring people back in, because we were getting away from it. We were leaving it in the past. It definitely was the thing that was happening. So I'm hoping that this doesn't reignite anything like that. But anyway, it's very clear, anybody who watches that the show is satirical and that they were making fun of this culture war in general. And they weren't really picking sides. However, there are some people in that community who are, neck deep in the grift, that they have to just sort of pretend that South Park is their champion, because that's how they do things. It's all smoke and mirrors with them. And some people that are just too stupid to understand that South Park was poking fun at everybody, not just one side in this argument. But one of the things I'm seeing come out of this is the Kathleen Kennedy hate has come back again. And people are now talking about Kathleen Kennedy again. Some people that had stopped talking about her are coming back and talking about her again because of the South Park episode. And I saw this tweet over here, and it says, periodic reminder that nobody will ever match Kathleen Kennedy for self-inserts into properties she didn't create. Now, let's blow this photo up here. First of all, these characters are not exactly alike. There are some in this picture that are vastly different from each other. Okay? They don't even share the same roles in the movies that they're in. They don't fill the same spot in the movies that they're in. They don't even have the same storylines in the movies that they are in. They are four different characters. The only thing they have in common with Kathleen Kennedy, a defining trait, is that they are women. So a woman who is in charge of a bunch of properties, having women in those properties, existing in those worlds, now that is what I guess they're calling a self-insert. That is the level of idiocy in this community, is that if a woman who happens to be in charge of a bunch of movies has women in any of those movies, those characters, if they are like important characters with speaking roles, are self-inserts. Do you understand how fucking stupid that is? Does that mean that every man who is in charge of movies that has put men in their movies, that all of those characters are self-inserts? That's the bar. That's the bar we're at. It's not naming them after yourselves. It's not giving them storylines that are like your real life. It's not giving them your personality traits. It's not giving them, anything that defines you as a person. It's simply, if they are women and you are a woman, then that is a self-insert. Like, for example, if I were in charge of a division and I put a gay character in a movie, that's a self-insert because I'm gay and they're gay. So does that mean that every straight person that has put straight characters in movies, those are self-inserts? This is the bar we're at with these people, is that a self-insert is simply putting someone in that has one thing that mirrors one thing that you are in the real world. So if you're a man and you put a man in a property, that is obviously a self-insert. If you're trans and you have a trans character somewhere, even if they don't look like you, sound like you, have your name, that's a self-insert. I'm not going to sit here and name off people that could be, accused of this, that are men, that are straight. That would take all day. That is why this is continued misogyny against Kathleen Kennedy. Because this is a standard she is being held at, that they are not holding that same standard to other people who are men in that division. I don't see them accusing every male creator of inserting themselves with every male character that they make, with every cisgender man, with every straight character. I don't see that. But if she puts a woman in something, clearly that's a self-insert. Do you not see how fucking stupid this is? This is where the Star Wars community is with this shit. That Kathleen Kennedy simply having women, and it's not even all Star Wars. It's Indiana Jones too, I guess. That her as a woman having women in her properties with different directors, different writers, whatever, somehow she is self-inserting. This has to be a joke, right? There's no way this is real. If this is real, we're talking about beyond brain rot. I don't even know what you would call this at this point. I mean, again, that would mean every man who is in charge of a movie division or media or whatever that puts a man in a role, a speaking role, is a self-insert. Is that the bar is that low? I mean, I've been arguing on Twitter for a while now on what constitutes as a self-insert. And I've said that the metric for this, the rules for this keep changing day by day, but this is a new low. This is a new low. They'll be like, oh, well, two of these characters have brown hair and two of them have darker hair, but there's still women with dark hair. So I guess that's a Kathleen Kennedy insert. Y'all are fucking stupid. You're fucking stupid. Full on stupidity. Stop the madness.